We are talking about just getting a job and looking for a job, you know, once you get your certification and going out there. Um, I did talk about having black and blacks, black and whites, just a bartender uniform, black pants, black shoes, black socks, and white button-up long sleeve shirt or black button-up long sleeve shirt. If you have the white shirt with a black tie and an apron, they call that a bistro outfit. It's also referred to as that sometimes too. You need to have non-skid shoes. There's a company online called Shoes for Crews. Very reasonably priced, good shoes, great soles, about 50 to 100 different styles. So those are pretty easy to get to. Make sure you have some of those. Make sure you know what black and whites are. When you go to the interview, I did dress like I was going to an interview today to try to set a good example. Have a resume, you know, find a resume you like on a good resume site you like, and put a headshot on there. It's real simple to take a picture with your phone, get a decent picture today, and be able to put a picture onto your resume. But it's a lot easier for the people, for potential employers, to see that resume and remember your face from the interview, instead of having to wonder, wait, which guy was that in the interview? You know, who was Ted, who was Jim, or anything like that. As far as place to look for jobs, we did talk about Craigslist, great place to look for jobs. Indeed, ZipRecruiter and those can be good too, as far as posting your resume, but just make sure the stuff is current. Not everything's current on those, not everything's great. Places to look for jobs. So where bartenders apply for jobs: airports, caterers, party planners, bowling alleys, hotels, restaurants, country clubs, sports bars, dance clubs, concert halls, sports arenas, fraternal organizations. And those are like Elks Club, Moose Lodge, American Legion, places like that. Winter resorts, summer resorts, trains, cruise lines, dinner cruise ships. Those would just be like nightly cruises. Cruise lines is very interesting thing. If anybody ever wanted to try that, it is a lot of work. You do make a lot of money. You just work all day for several months straight, so you don't spend any of the money. When you do get off the ship and have time to enjoy it, you do have a lot of money, but that's kind of a little different environment. But those are the type of places you'd be looking for as far as places to find jobs and places that need bartenders. Remember to just always be positive. Have a positive attitude. It is, you know, very much a people business and dealing with people. Once again, make sure you dress for the job you want, that you look nice. You should be dressed above the employees in there. You should look nicer. You should be a step above what the uniform is for the employees that work in any specific place. You know, and remember that this is a job where you're seen, and you need to look good. You need to be taken care of. Hair combed, well done. Gentlemen, if you have facial hair like I do, make sure it's neatly trimmed, shaved, everything like that. Fingernails trimmed properly. If you have tattoos, have them covered up. As far as ladies, hair put back, done nicely. If you're wearing earrings, gentlemen or ladies, make sure they're small and understated. Not too much makeup. Please don't overdo it or anything like that. Sorry, I'm going through notes here. And, you know, kind of, you're trying to kind of be flexible as well. Be as flexible as you can on, you know, your schedule. I know some people have different responsibilities and stuff like that. You know, make sure you're wearing the right uniform, pants, nice shoes, nice shirt, tie if applicable. You know, if that's that kind of place, definitely. And, you know, sorry, I'm reading notes here. You know, it is your first job. We all did start out somewhere. No one was born with bartending experience. So we all had to have a first job at some point. If you have to make some concessions, maybe it's not the shifts you necessarily want, or you have to drive a little further to get there, you know, or you kind of got to start at the bottom. You know, maybe you don't get the best bars or the best shifts. I mean, that's fine. You know, get the experience. It doesn't have to be the rest of your life. You don't have to work there forever. But it's great to, you know, get your foot in the door and get some experience if you can. And, you know, so don't be too picky about stuff like that. When it comes down to going and the time of the day to go and approach these places to look for a job, if the ad lists a specific time of the day to come, then please come between the hours that they list in the ad, the specific time that they ask to come. If they do not, make sure you're not coming at a busy time for the place. Most restaurants get really busy about 12 o'clock to about 2 o'clock. That's a lunch rush. Then about 4 o'clock, there's a shift change. And after that, no one's going to talk to you either. So if you can get in there before they open, most restaurants open about 11 o'clock. Sometimes the door will be open. They'll let you come in before they open. You can ask for a manager, say that you saw an ad on Craigslist or here or there, and that you would like to fill out an application and give them a resume. You know, if they're not available that time, just ask them when a good time is that you could come back. If you can't get in there before 11 o'clock, or maybe right at 11 o'clock when places open, sometimes managers have time to talk to you. Otherwise, come back sometime between about 2 and 3:30. You don't want to push it too close to 4 generally. If we are going like the afternoon, make sure it's after 2 o'clock, after a lunch rush. You do not want to show up during a lunch rush when they're busy. A manager's not going to have time to talk to you then. If it's a place that has a completely different human resources department, say like a country club, a large hotel or something like that, you know, you can probably go to the human resources office, fill out an application anytime. But as far as just restaurants and bars, yeah, between 2 and about 3:30, you don't want to go too close to 4. 4 is usually when there's a shift change. So managers will have a lot going on as far as servers and bartenders leaving from the day shift and making sure that the new servers and bartenders coming on are acclimated, know what's going on, and ready to go by about 5 o'clock when they start to really get busy for dinner. So make sure you're going at the appropriate time. You're not going at the busy times of the day. When it comes to filling out the application, bring a black pen, bring a pen with you. Bartenders should always have a pen on you. You should have a pen during the interview. So bring a black pen along with you, black preferably. And, you know, try to make it look nice. Write as neatly as you can, write as legibly as you can, print if you have to, make sure they can read it. Remember, that is a reflection of you. And what it looks like is how they're going to kind of look at you and assess you. So make sure you're reading it. Read everything completely before you're filling it in. Make sure you understand what they're asking for. Take your time. Follow the instructions correctly. Make sure that you have all your personal information, driver's license number, address, whatever you may need to be on there. And be sure that you also have the names of previous employers and references written down somewhere as well. I know that I can go and get them off my phone real quick, but then it just looks like I'm playing Candy Crush on my phone while I'm sitting waiting for a job interview. Have that stuff written down so you're not on your phone. It doesn't look bad. You can easily put down, you know, your last employers and 3 good references that you have there. And, you know, be flexible with the shifts. Let them know you're willing to start immediately. Make sure you always fill in the employment history. Even though you're attaching a resume that may have it on there, don't put just C resume. It just looks bad. Take the time to fill it in, make it look nice, make it look good. You know, remember that, you know, this is a job about people. Managers and owners hire bartenders somewhat on emotion. It's very much about the impression you make to them and how you come across, because that is how you're going to represent their business than to the guests that come in. So, you know, what they're looking for is a personality. They're trying to determine whether or not you have the personality that they want to represent their business, and if you'll be good behind the bar, making people happy and doing the job. Yeah, and that goes right along with having, you know, the interpersonal skills. Can you talk good to people? You know, don't use slang, don't cuss, use complete sentences. You know, you want people that can talk and be articulate to be behind the bar, not just someone, you know, slang running off at their mouth, something like that. And, you know, they also want to go through the information on your application just to verify things there. Make sure you are who you say you are. You have done what you say you've done. You know, from your perspective, it's an opportunity for you to kind of sell yourself, sell your strengths. And that's very much what this is about. I did get a bartending job with only a certification from bartending school, and it took a lot of work, but you know, I finally found someone that was willing to give me a chance, and sold myself to him, told him I can do this job, you give me a chance. And that's all it takes. You know, you got to sell yourself. And, you know, the other thing you're kind of looking for in the interview is this an establishment that you want to work for? Not every place is going to be the right fit. So once again, you can't be too picky, because you are looking for your first bar job, but you know, you don't want to be in a bad situation, and they're out there. So, you know, if you feel like something's not right, or it may not be the right fit for you, you know, it might not be. Kind of on that one, it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of reconnaissance. With the internet today, it's really easy to just go to the website, different restaurants or different bars, check out a little bit about them, see what a little bit about what they're about, and if that's the type of environment, type of place you want to be in. I have also been known to just walk by the place, or maybe walk in and take a look in plain clothes. Then if it looks like the kind of place I want to work at, I will put on this outfit, comb my hair nicely, put in some contact lenses, look different, and go back the next day and put in an application. So don't be afraid to kind of check the places out and make sure it's a place where the type of environment you want to be in. These are just kind of, I am reading this out of a old book I have here. These are kind of questions that you may encounter to kind of be ready for when it comes to the interview. Number one, what type of bartending experience do you have? And once again, let them know you went to the bartending school. You can bring your certificate or have a copy of that, show it to them. But everybody's going to start somewhere. So, there are people that will hire people with no experience based just on their attitude. And what I like to keep saying is, there's no replacement for showing up on time and working hard in this business. There's really not. People will look past a lot of, inexperience for someone that is there 10 minutes before their shift ready to go and works their butt off for them the entire shift. So, they might ask you, what kind of bartending experience do you have? What makes you think you're qualified? And once again, let them know you went to bartending school, you've trained, you're feeling confident, you can do this, and that this is going to be your future. How do you get along with people is another question they might ask you. I'm hoping this is the hospitality business, so I hope you get along with people well, because it is a people on people business. Number four, they might ask you, how is your drink making speed? This place gets busy. Just let them know that you can handle it. And that you'll get faster, you'll work harder, be better. Just, let them know that you will outwork anybody else that walks in that door. Number five, they might ask you, have you ever worked a cash register? And to all my students that I do one-on-one with, I always ask them that, because I think that's a huge thing. If you have taken cash or worked a cash register at any point in your life doing anything, let them know that. Let them know that you have taken cash, you have had a bank, you have settled it out, you have no issues, no police record or anything like that, and that just shows them that you can handle money. Remember, in a busy place, it can be tens of thousands of dollars in cash and small bills changing hands a night. So they need to know that you can be trusted with money, number one. Number two, it's not everybody whose bank comes up short is because they're dishonest. Some people just, struggle with math skills, and it doesn't mean you can't be a bartender. One of the guys I worked with just up the coast here in California for a very long time, who bartended a very, very much longer time than myself, he would not put the bill into the drawer before he counted the change. So if you gave him a $20 bill, he sets the $20 bill up here, he counts out the change first, double checks it to make sure he's right, looks at the computer, makes sure it's all right, and then puts the $20 bill in. So, he just knew that wasn't one of his strengths, and he had to be more careful around it. Didn't stop him from being a fast bartender. Didn't stop him from being a bartender everybody loved at the place for a decade, So, just, if you've ever worked a cash register, if you have any experience taking payments, handling cash, just let them know that you've done that before and you are familiar with that. They might ask you, do you know a lot of drinks or specific types of drinks? And after this, I would hope that everybody knows a lot of drinks and specific types of drinks. If not, I think I have one about, did I do recipes yesterday? Or last week or 2 weeks back is recipes. Check that out if you need more drink recipes. They might ask you, why are you starting a new career at this point of your life? Just be straightforward with them. You don't have to get too personal as far as, your personal life and what you're doing, but, just need a change, wanted to make more money, needed to supplement your income, whatever it is, just let them know, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm motivated. And this is why I intend on being successful at this. This is during the interview, do's and don'ts. So, during the interview, do's and don'ts. Do greet the interviewer. Definitely Mr. or Mrs., whatever their name is, if you know it. Always yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am, if at all possible. Do wait until you're offered a chair. Don't just come in and plop down and assume that's okay. If they bring you into an office or something, wait until they tell you to have a seat or let you know to have a seat. Make sure you're smiling, shake hands firmly, look the employer in the eye, make eye contact when you're talking to them. Have good posture, sit up straight, don't be slouching in your chair. One of my, I always have the smile. I know I always put on a cheesy smile sometimes, but one of my favorite corporate sayings that I love is your uniform's not complete without a name tag and a smile. And it's very, very, very true. Have a smile on your face. Let them know that you're a pleasant person. You're ready to go. Do listen carefully. Listen carefully. Understand what they're saying. You don't want to stall too much, like you're thinking about it too much between the answers. But take a deep breath. Give yourself time to answer completely. Maintain eye contact and do not interrupt them. Let them get everything out. Let them say everything they're going to say. Then give them, an appropriate response. Discuss job-related matters only unless otherwise asked. Once again, this is really not about your personal life or stuff like that. It should be about the job you're applying for, what they expect, and what you can expect out of that job. Do stress your qualifications and your interest. So, I mean, if you have an interest in certain things, for instance, I worked at a bunch of sports bars. I would always stress the fact that I played football in college. So I know a lot about sports because I was an ex-athlete. So, that's an interest of mine that helped me get jobs in certain environments. So, stress your interest. Do show confidence, even if you don't have it. I am pretty confident in everybody I've trained that they're going to do great in this. So I hope you all are very confident when all this is done and ready to go. Show that confidence. Let them know you have confidence. It takes a lot of confidence to be a bartender, get back there and deal with what we have to deal with some days. So have that confidence and sell yourself. Be proud of your training. Be proud of all the hard work and practice you put in, learning drinks and doing everything. And, really sell yourself. This is the time to do that when you're in the interview talking to them. Make sure you thank them for their time and ask them, when you might receive a call or if there's a time you should call back to follow up with them. And don't be afraid to call a place back 2 or 3 days later and follow up with them. Also, don't be afraid to ask someone at the end of the interview if there is something you could have done better during the interview. People definitely generally give you some pretty straightforward feedback on how you did in an interview with them, and it'll just help you get stronger and help you in your next interview. We like to say that we don't have bad days, we have character building days. So for every interview that I've gone to that I know I bombed and it went horribly, it's a character builder right there. So you just move on from that and learn. These are don'ts. These are the don't do's during your job interview. Number one, and this one's so funny because I'm gonna tell a little story. Don't smoke. Even if they offer you a cigarette, just don't. It looks bad. When I first moved to Florida and I ended up getting a job at a place called AJ's Seafood and Oyster Bar. It is a nightclub and bar magazine, Editor's Choice Top 100 bar every year. It sells more liquor than anything in Northwest Florida. It's an amazing restaurant and nightclub. I went there for the interview, dressed much like I am right now with my resume. I filled out an application. There were a bunch of people. This is a pretty popular place. Basically, bartenders have to die, I think, at some point for people to get jobs there. So they had one opening, and there were a lot of people waiting to apply for it. I was sitting at a table with a girl. She was getting impatient. She went out to her car, got her cigarettes, lit one up, sitting there smoking the cigarette. While she's smoking the cigarette, the bar manager came out and called her name and wanted to interview her. And she's sitting there smoking. And I thought it was very funny because he said, you know what, I'll just wait while you finish your cigarette. And she kept smoking it. And then he turned and looked at me like, do you believe this? Like, do you believe this girl? Does she really think she's getting a job here? And I knew she wasn't. He knew she wasn't getting a job there. And I ended up actually not getting the job at that time. I ended up getting a very weird phone call 2 weeks later from a random person in a country club saying that they got my resume. They'd love for me to work for them, but I don't want to work for them. That AJ's is looking for me. They lost my phone number and I should call them. And I did. I called that bar manager, and he said to me, "How did you get this number?" Because it was his cell phone. I said, "You gave me your card." He said, "Oh God, we've been looking for you. We've been looking for you." So don't smoke. Even if you're offered a cigarette, don't smoke. It just doesn't look bad. Don't chew gum. You should never be chewing gum behind the bar either. No one wants to see your lips smacking. It looks like you're eating. If you need to freshen up your breath, a mint. Mints are good. No gum, no chewing. Don't wear dark sunglasses into an interview. You know, even places where I've been outside on a deck in the sun, I'm still taking my sunglasses off before I come into the establishment to go into an interview. Don't slouch in your chair. Oh, kicking my table. Don't slouch in your chair, leaning back. You know, sit up straight, have good posture. At the same time, since this is an old book, it doesn't mention it, but I kind of already mentioned, don't be on your phone. Someone that's on their phone in an interview is someone that's going to be on their phone at work, and it's nobody that anybody wants to hire. So don't be on your phone. Don't lie. Just be honest about your experience. Be honest about stuff in the interview. Lying on your resume, lying in an interview. I'm not going to say it's never gotten anyone anywhere, but it's just the start of bad things, start of bad news. You know, this is a legitimate business. Most places, at least, are run like a legitimate business. They don't want to, you know, hire anybody that's dishonest, and you definitely don't want a couple months down the line, and I have seen this, people's background checks come back and they were not honest about what was on there. And if they had just been honest, they would have kept the job. It wasn't anything on their background check that was just going to disqualify them. It was the fact that they lied about it that cost them the job and disqualified them. So don't lie, just be honest. Don't make derogatory remarks about previous employers. No matter what they did to you, no matter what happened, no matter how bad you were wronged, it does not look good. It just makes you look bad. Don't say anything derogatory about previous employers. Don't ask about salary, vacations, bonuses, benefits, insurance, sick pay, retirement. Don't jump the gun. You know, you're there applying for a job and you're just kind of starting out in this industry. Don't all of a sudden be like, well, when do I get 2 weeks paid vacation? And, you know, what kind of bonuses will I get at the end of the year? You know, be happy for the job. Truth is, we work mostly for tips as bartenders. So a lot of those don't come up. But yeah, don't put the cart ahead of the horse as far as that goes. Once again, if you're offered a job, they will let you know all that stuff and tell you all about stuff like that. Don't hesitate when giving your answers. Once again, it's fine to take a breath, gather yourself a little, and you know, think about what you're going to say and to make sure you're answering the question properly. But you don't want to take too long, like you're sitting there stalling, like there's a problem, like you don't know what you're talking about, or you're trying to come up with a lie and hide something. Don't bring up negatives. You're there to stress the positives. People, I know it's probably not the greatest thing to say, but people always ask you, what's your worst fault? I'd be like, I just work too hard, sir. That's my problem. You know, once again, you're just trying to accentuate the positive points. Don't bring up anything negative. Once again, don't hide it. If they ask you about something, be honest about it, but don't bring it up. Don't discuss physical impairments. If brought up by the interviewer, be brief. We're bartenders. You should be able to lift 40 pounds, be on your feet for 8 hours a day, be able to bend, reach, stretch, kneel, all of the according, all of the above. So you really shouldn't have any physical limitations. If you do have something that you don't think is going to bother it, that's going to impede you doing your job, there's no reason to bring it up. So don't use slang or profanity, please, please don't. People want bartenders that are nice, well-dressed, well-spoken, look nice, presentable. So no slang, no profanity. Don't argue or discuss personal problems, which you shouldn't be doing in the interview. You shouldn't be doing on the job. You shouldn't be doing behind the bar in any situation. Don't take anyone with you. Go get a job alone. Don't have a job hunt bunny. Don't bring a girlfriend, boyfriend. Don't bring anybody with you. Let them know you're serious. You know, person does that is the same person that's going to bring someone with them to work to hang out. And people don't want that either. So don't bring anybody with you. Don't necessarily judge a place by its outside appearance. And this kind of goes, I think, what I said a little bit about, you know, do some recon, find out about the establishment before you go down to the interview. You know, I will go look at a place's menu online. And when I go to the interview, I'll have a couple questions for the manager about their menu. I'll let them know I'm serious. I'll let them know, just let them know I'm serious. Let them know I'm already taking an interest in your establishment, your menu, and what you have going on. Like, if it's something I've never eaten, hey, what about that? I know I've never tried that before. I think it's kind of curious how you guys prepare that or something like that. Know a little something about the place, and don't necessarily judge it. There's a difference between a dive bar and a crap hole. Dive bars are awesome. Dive bars are great places where people love to go drink. They're generally dark, very homey, easy to talk to people. The kind of places locals hang out. Dive bar doesn't mean that it's dirty. It doesn't mean there's holes in the walls, broken bar stools, plumbing doesn't work, or anything like that. It doesn't mean it's shady. It doesn't mean despicable people hang out there. That's a crap hole. That's a bar nobody wants to be in. A place that fights go on all the time and stuff like that, a slaughterhouse. People don't like to hang out in those types of places. But a good, homey dive bar that has a great feel to it can make incredible money. And if it doesn't look great on the outside, doesn't necessarily mean it's not homey, and nice on the inside. The other thing I'll say in like Florida and Alabama is because it's on the beach and they don't allow glass, made tons of money just putting drinks in plastic cups. I know we've gone through a lot of work and a lot of training how to make classic cocktails the perfect way. It seems silly to take all that knowledge and just make bourbon and cokes in plastic cups, but don't look past it. It's a great way to make money, even in a situation like that. So 15, where am I at? Don't ask for special consideration. Once again, you're the newbie, you're new to the industry. You're going to take whatever shifts they have available, whatever bars they have available. Some places have more than one bar, so some bars better than others. Nightclubs usually in situations like that. Just don't be overly choosy. You need a place to give you a chance to get your foot in the door and get some practical experience. Once you have that, after a little while, and it doesn't work out for you, yeah, then maybe you start looking into another place, looking into something better fits you, something maybe you can make some more money. But you're just starting out. Getting some experience and having that to put on your resume is great. So just don't get too choosy. When it comes to the place, find a place that'll have you. I'm not going to skip this. I will do this part too. Why people don't get jobs: poor personality, lack of confidence, timid, overconfident, arrogant. Bartending is a people job. You have to talk to them the way, you're representing yourself to them the same way you're going to be representing their establishment to the customers. So that would be one of the reasons people don't. Number two, poor personal appearance. Once again, I look very sharp today. I know I do not always. Personal appearance and or body odor. Be clean, smell nice. Remember, people have to be around you. People are going to be able to smell you while you bartend. Number three, lack of interest or enthusiasm. Show an interest in the place. Have some enthusiasm. I come in here every week with a certain amount of enthusiasm because I love this business and I love bars. So, let them know that you have some enthusiasm for the place. Poor habits of speech. Number four, poor habits of speech, use of slang, profanity, hard to hear or understand. Make sure you're speaking clearly. You're using proper English. You're using complete sentences. You're not using any sort of slang or vulgarity. Unprofessional attitude. Once again, you are a professional now. You've gone through this course. Behave as a professional would. Bringing someone with you is another reason you would not get a job. Being late for the appointment is another reason you're not getting a job. And I will stress it one more time. There's no replacement for being on time and working hard in this business. There really just is not. Number 8, too much interest in money and benefits. That could turn off an employer. Unwillingness to start from the bottom. Once again, you're just starting out. You have to be willing to start from the bottom and work your way up. Talking badly about previous employers. Failure to look people in the eye. Make sure you're looking them in the eye, making eye contact. Limp handshake, the dead fish handshake. A lot of people don't like that. Or just a sloppy application. It should look nice. It should be professional. You're going to get rejected. I've been rejected tons and tons of times. Don't let it get you down. Be positive. Just, if you get rejected and you really wanted to work at that place, just maybe it wasn't the right place for you. Somewhere in the universe, there is a right place and you will find it. And just kind of remember that looking for a job in and of itself is work. You know, you're looking for a job, you're going to work 35, 40 hours a week. It's not unreasonable to ask you to put 35 or 40 hours a week into looking for that job. So treat it like it's work, go into it seriously, put in as many applications as you can. It is a game of numbers, and hopefully soon you will find your first bartending job and get a good start and get going on that. So are there any questions I can answer for anybody today on anything I talked about or any other topic? I will answer to the best of my ability. I will sign off for the day. I will be back 3 p.m. Pacific time next Wednesday, where I haven't come up with the topic yet. So we will come up with a topic sometime this week and post it up there. If you have any questions between now and then, write them down. I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. If I can't answer them, I will find the answer for you. So if there's no other questions, thank you all for showing up, and we're going to call it a day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tracy.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.